Hello everyone, my name is John, I'm the Geeky Fanboy, and welcome back to me talking about books. But before we jump into today's video, just a quick request, or I don't know, just letting you know, I'm currently, if you look on my community tab, I'm currently looking for unpopular bookish opinions for a future video. So if you have any unpopular bookish opinions, can be like, I don't know, a popular book you don't like, an unpopular book that you do like, beefs you have with the book community, whatever, as long as it's book related, reading related, you can post a comment, either put it like on this video or hop on over to the community tab, like put a comment there. I'm just collecting some unpopular opinions and maybe we can talk about them in the future. So just to let you know about that up ahead. But now let's jump into the actual video. So after last week's quite heavy topic and current news being what they are in the world, I thought today we're gonna have a little sit down with a nice mug and something hot to drink. And we're just gonna have some fun. And I thought a good way to have fun is to read some fun Reddit stories. I'm a big fan of those, am I the asshole stories? Now and then, like my favorite ones. If you want to check out the ones I like to watch is the Ace Couple podcast occasionally does these for like ace and asexuality related things. And the channel Jamie Dodgers also occasionally does those for like queer and trans themes. I'll link the two channels in the description down below in case you want to check them out. And I thought today maybe I'm gonna try and read some Am I the Arsehole stories for you. Of course, specifically tailored to our special interest on this channel at the moment, primarily being books. So today I'm going to read some Am I the Arsehole stories related to books and reading. So, grab yourself something nice to drink, cozy up on the couch or on bed or wherever you're watching. I got my laptop here with the fun stickers, got some stories ready, and we're just gonna jump into it and see what awaits us. I just basically chose, I made a pre-selection based on the titles of the posts sound fun and interesting to discuss. Some of them are a bit shorter in the beginning, then we're gonna go into some longer ones. Here we go. The first one. Am I the asshole for not wanting to lend my books? Ooh, this is a good one because I'm very particular about lending books myself. So I have a large collection of books that I often reread. I love them all very much. My favorite series is Noughts and Crosses books. My parents often make me lend books to people I barely know. Why? And sometimes the people take ages to return it. And if they do, it is often a bit damaged. Oh, no. Like if you... No, I'm already annoyed. The other day, my parents asked me to lend the Noughts and Crosses to someone. We'll call this someone Jay. Jay is quite nice, but she has a brother who likes to play football with almost any object in their house, and I was not going to let him do that to my book. Fair. I said no. My parents totally blew up at me. They said I was selfish. What? I told them I was going to lend my favorite book series to someone else because I love them and I don't trust other people with them. My parents are now angry at me and I'm angry at them, but I'm starting to think that maybe I was being a bit selfish. So am I the arsehole? No, of course not. This is your property. And I like particularly if it's about books, I totally get it. You want to be careful about them. Like, I'm also someone who I don't ever really give books away. The only people I give books to are like my girlfriend and my parents because they know that I like to keep my books like in mint condition. If I like bought them like new, if they're like secondhand, I don't mind that much. But I totally get it. Like books are a prized possession to most people, especially if they're your favorites. And they're yours, your books, your rules. And if you don't want to give them away, you don't give them away. And I think it's really unfair of the parents to like treat you as if you were selfish for doing that, especially when you know that there's someone in the house where your book is, where someone would like maybe mistreat the book and damage it. I absolutely get that. Second story. Am I the asshole for only buying my daughter books that are close to her reading level? Interesting. Let's see what that means. My daughter Rose, 9, is a very advanced reader. She's in 3rd grade, 8 to 9 years old, but reads at a 9th grade level, 14 to 15 years old. Okay. Despite her advanced reading level, the only books she wants to read are the I Survived series and the A to Z mysteries. Both of these books are far below her reading level, so I told her it's fine if she wants to read them in school, but at home she has to read things closer to her level. But isn't that her level if those are kids' books? What? I've taken her to bookstores and we've looked through the young adult section, but she refuses to read any of the books. As she should, she's 9. She says they're all boring and gross. Yeah, of course they would be to a 9-year-old. She always asks to get books from the children's section, but I've said no because they're too easy for her. Rosa started sneaking books home from school, and when I started taking those away, she stopped reading in general. What's wrong with you? Now Rosa's pulled away from me, and her teacher has recommended I let her read whatever she wants. Good teacher. Rosa's dad, my ex, found out about this and tore into me for not letting Rose read books for kids her age and offered to send her books, but that's not the problem. I don't have a problem with Rose reading, but if she's going to read, she should read something close to her level. Now everyone's mad at me, so I want to know if I was the asshole. Yes! Oh my god! Yes! Yes, is this the mother? Presumably, I don't know. Like, this parent? Why? Why are you like this? I mean, it's good that your daughter enjoys reading, especially at her age. Like, I remember I wasn't really into reading yet when I was 9 years old. And there is a problem of, like, getting kids, especially like younger kids, into reading nowadays. So be happy that your child's reading. Like, no matter what, like, under a grade, like, below her level, over her level a bit, like, whatever. I mean, she's 9 years old. Why would you? I mean, it's great that you think, or that she herself, the daughter, maybe also believes that your daughter reads like at a 9th grade level. Good. I mean, I probably also read at a higher level when I got into reading at like age of like 11 or 12. But don't force your child to read book. Like, what do you mean closer to her level? Just because like YA books are like for an older like age group, and then you think that's more her level, but she's 9. It's not about like reading comprehension as in, the grammar is more complicated, sentences are more complicated or whatever. It's also about like the topics that are like in those books. Like YA books written for 14 to 15-year-old. I would not give my 9-year-old like books like, what did I read when I was 15? Like Hunger Games. Imagine you gave a 9-year-old a Hunger Games book. What the hell? No, don't do that. Those books contain themes that are not appropriate for a child of that age. And I don't care if she's like more advanced in her reading level. And also, like, the child herself, like, daughter said that she's not interested in them, because of course those would be like gross and boring to her, because they're not about people her age. They're not about topics that someone like her at that age is interested in. So why would you force your child to do that? Like, I've only ever seen like the reverse of this argument, that people were like, my child is reading like books that are meant for like a way older like age group. That we have this discussion in the book community. We're worried that 13-year-olds are reading like new adult books, that 12-year-olds are reading dark romance, stuff like that. Like, we have that argument that is something that arguably shouldn't happen. But this is like the reverse. So the dad is like right for getting upset about that, and good for the teacher to like tell this parent that no, they should let their child read what they want, if it's within their age range. Like, yes, you're definitely the asshole. Let's go to the next one. Am I the asshole for refusing to enforce my ex's reading rule on my 15-year-old son? Oh god, when I already hear the words reading rule, I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna like this. Okay, so I, 45 male, have a son, Callum, 15, with my ex-wife, Amanda. We had an amicable divorce when Callum was 2, and so far we've been co-parenting quite well. Well, good for you that that's worked out so far. Now, I could say a lot of things about Amanda's parenting, but the long and short of it is that she and her new husband cater a parenting style to their 2 younger kids together, 11 female and 8 male. Because of this, he's decreased his time at their house ever since he got the choice, and now spends every other weekend at their house. Around a month ago, Amanda and her husband made a reading rule for the kids. The 8-year-old has to read 30 minutes a day, the 11-year-old has to read for an hour, And Callum has to read for 2 hours. I have no idea why they did this. I couldn't imagine why. I think it's because the 8-year-old is falling behind in his reading level and they want to keep things fair between the kids. I think this is ridiculous, as Callum is a very smart kid already and he needs that time for homework and relaxing since he doesn't have that much free time to begin with. Yeah, don't force your kids to read, please, if they don't want to. Amanda let me know that she expected me to enforce the reading rule when Callum is at my house. I told her that I would not. She said that it was unfair to Callum's half-siblings that he would just leave for my house and not have to follow the rule, while they had to follow the rule no matter what. I told her tough luck, it's my house and I make the rules, not her. Correct. Well, now Callum is thinking about not staying with her at all anymore due to the increase in strictness of her and her husband's rules. Understandable. She told me that it's all my fault that he doesn't want to be around her anymore. I was too lax with the rules. I'm pretty sure I'm in the right here, but I thought it might be a good idea to get some perspective. So am I the asshole? No. No, definitely not. Like, I understand wanting your kids to read. I understand that this is very important, that, you know, we get kids and young adults and teenagers to read books. It's important, of course it is. And if you notice that your child is like falling behind in reading comprehension, I totally get why you want to have your child spend more time with books. But the thing is, you can't force kids, especially when it comes to reading, because that is what is going to make them hate reading. And I know that because I saw that happening when I was still at school. Like, when I was like 16, 17, 18 years old, my last years of school, I saw that some of the people in class were upset because we were forced to read books they didn't like. They had to spend time with books they didn't enjoy, especially when it came to like poetry. Up to this day, I still meet people who don't enjoy poetry simply because they were forced to engage with poetry at school in a way that they didn't enjoy. And that has basically soured the whole experience of reading for them, especially poetry. So don't force your child to do this. Like, I get that wanting to help your child falling behind, wanting to help them, like in their reading comprehension, but then do it together. Like, spend time with them together. Read a book to them, they read the book to you, you talk about the book. Something like that. Make it an activity. Or put all the kids together, like do a family reading group or something. Like, make it fun. Don't make it like a rule. Don't force your child to like sit down every day for 30 minutes to 2 hours to read. That's just going to create like a hateful atmosphere for these kids. And like we see, like this, the kid, Callum, that he already doesn't want to stay with the mother because he feels like he is forced to do this. Maybe he did enjoy reading once, or potentially could enjoy reading, but now the mother's ruined it because it's been forced upon him. So don't do that. Don't do this to your kids. And kudos to the dad for not enforcing this rule, because he really shouldn't. Like, the couple is separated, and at his house, it's his style of parenting now. That's not a style of parenting he's agreed upon before. It was not discussed with him before. And like I said, it's his house, his rules. And if he doesn't want to force his child to read, good. He shouldn't. And the mum doesn't really have the right to be upset about that he doesn't enforce a rule she made up for her house at his home. Like, no. I get that, yeah, maybe like the kids are gonna feel like they're being treated unfairly because the other kids are not like part of this household, like, so to speak. So they are forced to read while Callum might not be forced to read. But then that's the fault of the mum and her new husband for creating this stupid rule in the first place. Like, reading is not fun if you force yourself to do it. Like, it should be a fun hobby. And I mean, there are instances where you have to read, like if it's like, I don't know, for a school assignment, or I don't know if it's literally your job, you know, stuff like that. But if it's like for like hobby reasons, or because you just want your child to be, I want a smart child, so I force my child to read, it's not gonna work that way. You have to work on this together. Like, you can't just force the reading comprehension into a child. That's gonna just make them want to never read again when they're older. Like, make it an activity. Find something that maybe they do enjoy reading. Read books together. Discuss them together with your children. but don't force them to do it. If you force anyone to do something, they're not gonna take any fun out of it. Okay, this next one I thought sounded interesting. Am I the asshole for reading romance novels despite it making my boyfriend uncomfortable? I thought this sounded really interesting, so let's have a go at it. I, 29, female, am a huge lover of romance novels. Doesn't matter how bad or trashy they are fun to just veg out to as they require very little focus. I do enjoy more nuanced books too, but they require more focus and I don't always have the energy for that. Fair, I totally get that. I've currently been binging all of Susan Trombley's books. 10 out of 10 would recommend if you like the sci-fi fantasy romance novels. Ah, fun. My boyfriend, 30, male, has never liked me reading these kinds of books in our 2 years of dating as they make him uncomfortable. Why? What? I hope there's some reasoning behind that why the boyfriend finds her reading romance novels uncomfortable. So I stopped reading them around him. Well, it doesn't sound like a healthy behavior in a relationship. I figure while not every book in the genre is pornographic, a fair few are, so that was likely why he was uncomfortable, so I didn't push further. We are discussing moving in together, and he has told me he doesn't want my books on the bookshelves as it's embarrassing to have them out in the open like that. Don't move in together. Girl, don't move in with this guy. I told him if he'd prefer, I'll keep them on a bookshelf that isn't in the living room of the house where guests could see it, but no, turns out he doesn't want them on the bookshelf at all. So she even offers a compromise, and he still doesn't want it. I ended up asking him what the fuck his issue was and told him they were harmless. He has told me I make him feel uncomfortable by enjoying these kinds of books as they seem low intelligence, and that I also make him feel less like he's not enough. What? I told him that he was of course enough and pointed out how him watching porn doesn't mean I am not enough for him, doesn't it? Does it? But he refuses to see the similarity. I always figured it was harmless to read these kinds of books. I don't get why it makes him so uncomfortable. Maybe I'm the asshole still reading them despite knowing he feels this way. No! 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 Get rid of this man! Like, not to insult my own gender, but what a fucking moron! What the hell? Why is my gender like this sometimes? Or so many times? What? Girl, no, don't move in with him. Please don't move in with this man. Don't. Are there any updates on this? I don't think there are. I hope this was like, it's an older post, like 3 years ago. I hope she's not with him any longer, because this sounds not great. Especially since I'm assuming he knew that you were into romance novels when you started dating. And if this is a hobby, like one of your main hobbies that you love and that brings you comfort, you shouldn't have to give that up for a partner. Especially for such a petty reason. Because it makes him feel uncomfortable that you read romance books, which are not even necessarily smutty all of the time. What? This is pathetic. This is pathetic. Like, honestly, my guy who the story is about, what is wrong with you? If you feel like it makes you less of a man in the relationship, have a conversation with your girlfriend about why you maybe feel that way. Have a look inward, have a conversation with yourself deep down why you might feel that way because your girlfriend reads romance books and it makes you feel like less of a man in the relationship, like less accomplished. Please do look inward, talk with your girlfriend if you're still together, go to therapy, something, because this ain't it. You can't make your girlfriend stop reading books she enjoys just because you feel uncomfortable. And then there's this chump just being like, this is not the same as me watching porn. Like, what? My guy, come on. From man to man, what the fuck are you talking about here? She's like, I pointed out to him that watching porn doesn't mean I am not enough for him, does it? But he refuses to see the similarity. What? How are you not seeing the similarity here? You also watch something that brings you joy, that potentially, in a major way, makes you horny, brings you satisfaction, whatever. And maybe your girlfriend loves reading romance books to feel cozy, maybe also to feel horny. I don't know. If she reads a smutty novel, I don't know. Good for her. Like, why is it okay for him but not her? Is it because a woman is enjoying her romance? Is it because a woman is like trying to find some romantic and comfortable satisfaction somewhere else that is not you, but a hobby she's engaging with, and you're not comfortable with that? Pathetic. Honestly, pathetic. Okay, this one I thought sounded interesting, like based on the title, because this is something I've seen discussed in the book community as well. Am I the asshole for giving a book a 1-star rating? I, 30 female, I'm the co-host of a book club. 2 of the other co-hosts are one of my close friends who is just as active in the book club as I am, and a mutual friend who over time has been evidently losing interest and only showing up / reading the book whenever she feels like it. For context, this book club has operated on alternating nominations from all the members, so everyone has had a say in what we read. Good, nice. I like this book club. This particular month, the mutual friend's family member chose the book. To be frank, I hated the book. So did a handful of others that read it. I tried to remain neutral during the meeting, so I don't complain about what I didn't like, but I do rate the book honestly on our book club website. Fair enough. I proceeded to rate the book 1 star when we were 2 weeks out from our meeting, and I finished the book. When the mutual friend noticed my rating, she came out the gate super aggressive, asking why I would rate the book so low, and then sent several angry texts to the other co-host saying how much of an asshole move it is to give a rating that low and that no one likes book club anymore. Funny enough, that month's meeting was the best attended meeting in a couple of months. And a whole slew of other complaints. She claimed it wasn't appropriate to give the book a rating so low. For clarity, she's the only one who's ever been offended when anyone hasn't liked the book she or a family member nominated. Everyone else is aware it's not a personal attack. The whole thing baffles me because that's the point of a book club. Yes, one would think. We all have different opinions, and the way she reacted, you'd think she wrote the damn book. I feel like we're all entitled to like or hate a book. The whole encounter has honestly soured my opinion of her ever since. I stopped providing my ratings until after the meetings because I don't want this kind of drama again, but I have no idea where the outrage came from. Am I missing something, and am I the arsehole? No. OP, no. And you know what? This is something we have to talk about, because I've seen this discussed in the book community now and then, that it's mean if you rate a book 1 star. Like, there are people out there who feel like you should, like, there are some people who say I never give a book lower than a 3-star rating. And I mean, fine, if that is your ranking system and that works for you, fine, good for you. Don't come at me for giving book 1-star ratings. Please don't. That's what the rating system is for. To give it from, if we're on Goodreads, from 1 to 5, give it a star. And if I feel like it's 1 star, it gets 1 star. And that's fair. Like, if you don't like the book, you didn't like the book. You're just being, as OP says, they're just being honest and fair about it. And they weren't, like, maliciously, like, bashing the book, from what I'm guessing. And they even tried to, like, stay neutral during the meeting, don't complain about it, and just, like, gave the review online when there was time. And then for the other person to go out of their way and, like, to attack them so maliciously over a simple bad review, like, this is coming from, like, a BPD guy, but that's overreacting in a very emotional way. Like, I get mad when people rate books I like lower, but we all have opinions. We all just have our own very subjective opinions on books. And to some people, a book is 5 stars, and to another person, it will be a 1-star book. That's just how it is. But I honestly hate this mentality that some people in the book community have, that's like, oh, you should never, like, if you didn't like the book, please don't give it 1 star. That's, like, really mean to the author. It's, like, really mean, and they tried so hard, so you should never give a book, like, lower than a 3, even if you didn't like it. No. Like, just no. Like, yes, I will acknowledge writing a book is a cool thing. Not everyone can do it. Not everyone accomplishes that. And presumably some amount of work went into creating a book someone wrote. If the book's still shit to read, it's still shit to read. Like, that comes with the job description. That's just a fact. If you're like any kind of artist, and as a writer myself, that just comes with the job. That sometimes you just have to live with people not liking your book and getting 1-star reviews. It'll happen to any book out there, even if it's the most popular book in the world. It will get 1 star from someone. Not every 1-star or 2-star review is like a hate read. Like, they're not like, I know, some of my most popular books, book reviews I've done, or videos on this channel in general, are me ranting about books I didn't like. Fact. But that's not me like maliciously hating on every single person who's ever enjoyed this book. That's not me maliciously hating on the person who created this book. This is just me having given a book a fair chance to make me like it, and then I just didn't like it, and then I give my opinion, and then I give my reasons for why I didn't like a book. That's just how it is. And you have to accept that. You just have to accept it. Okay, for this one, just a mild content warning in regards to like depression and anxiety, because that's what OP talks about here. But I don't know, I just thought that this sounded interesting and was like worthy of a discussion. Am I the arsehole for reading YA books? This is honestly one of the weirdest disagreements I've had to deal with. It has me wondering if maybe I am in fact the arsehole. Well, let's see. So, some background info. I, 33, female, have been dealing with depression and anxiety since a car accident I was in earlier this year. With the help of medications and therapy, I'm getting better. Good for you. I hope you keep improving. I used to be able to read 4 to 5 books a week. Dang, pretty good. But the depression took my joy of reading away, among many other joys I had. My husband, 38, male, has been absolutely amazing and understanding. Once I started to feel a little better, I started reading some of my children's books, starting with Clifford the Big Red Dog books, and kind of moving up from there. I don't sound silly to start reading books made for children, but for a while it was as long as I was able to focus. As I got better, I slowly started reading longer books. Currently, I am reading YA books. These plots are easier for me to focus on, and I'm getting my joy for reading back. That's great. Honestly, this is just like the first half of this post, but honestly, that's great that this person was able to like get back into reading with books like that. And I totally get it. Like if maybe you can't focus as much yet, or if you feel like your reading comprehension is not on the same level yet as it used to be, yeah, sure, start out with like middle grade or kids books. Why not? And if they bring you joy, do it. So how does this continue? So in my area, the local library has a service that allows you to check out books through their website and be picked up either in the drive-thru or inside. My husband usually picks up and returns the books for me. As I have anxiety attacks when I try to get into the car. Again, this is being dealt with. Good. I had a friend that wanted to come by and see how I was doing, and she offered to get the books from the library for me as she was going anyway. When she got to my house, she didn't have the books, and I initially thought that she forgot to get the books, which wasn't a big deal as my husband goes right by the library on his way home from work. My friend was talking about some of the books she got while at the library, so I asked if she remembered to get my books for me. She said, "No, I chose not to get them." Well, that's already a shitty friend. Then the books aren't for you. They are made for children, and you are a grown woman who should read grown books. She then proceeded to hand me some books she brought with her. I've read some of the authors she was giving to me. I said that right now I do not want to read those books. I can't focus on the plots, and I'm uncomfortable with some content since the accident. She told me I was being ridiculous, and that I need to get over myself and grow up. Oh, someone hold me back. Someone hold me back. Ooh. It's just a book. I handed her back the books she gave me and told her to leave. Good. I talked about it with another friend, and they said I was overreacting. I need to push myself to get back. Who are your friends? I just wanted to add that my progress with both the depression and the anxiety is being closely monitored by my therapist. My therapist was encouraging me to read at a pace that I was comfortable. Yes, good. Good therapist. Therapist, good. Friends, bad. What the fuck? who are those friends? Oh, this gets me riled up. Oh, no. And this is an older post, like from 3 years ago, and I feel like we're still having discussions like this. Because you know where YA books are really popular? On BookTube, on Book Talk. Where, guess what? I would argue almost like a majority of the people are over 18 years old. And they love reading YA. Let me tell you, YA is so popular on this platform and presumably also on Book Talk. People love YA, especially YA fantasy, YA dystopia. That shit is still popular, has been popular for many years, and it still very much is. And adults love reading YA. And why shouldn't they? Like, why shouldn't they? Does it like stop at the age 18? When you hit that age, you're no longer allowed from like touching a book that's made for under 18-year-olds? Is there like a biological imprint that keeps you from like touching books or something? I don't know. Like, what? Like, I think it's great that this person was able to get it back into reading that way, of having like an accident that made it unenjoyable for them, and then finding like their love for literature back through kids' books, through middle grade books, through YA books. I think that's great. Like, as long as you're reading, and that's really good. And this person is finding such a great way for themselves to like deal with their stress, to deal with their depression, to deal with their anxiety. And if kids' books and YA books are what's helping them, then good for them. It's not doing anyone any harm. She's getting them from the local library, which is great. And I don't see how this is of any harm like to anyone. And I'm honestly really mad at this one friend who like didn't pick up the books because like she thinks that OP should read books for grown-ups because she's a grown woman. She should grow up and like pull herself together. Like, that shit gets me so mad. That shit gets me so mad. As someone who is very strongly emotionally invested in like the books he reads or like the movies I watch or whatever. Also, a lot of time for mental health reasons. I get this, that you connect with shit like that. Books like that or movies or whatever help you that way. And I understand how sometimes even like things that are meant like for a younger demographic just help you because they feel more comforting, they feel a little easier to watch, maybe they feel like home, maybe they feel a bit nostalgic. Like, age regression is a coping mechanism for a reason. And I totally get it. I absolutely get it. And I think it's so mean that we tell people, especially people who are struggling, to like pull yourself together, like push yourself to get better, as if you could like force it. She is pulling herself together her way. She is getting better her way. What's helping her, OP, is reading YA books. That's what makes her feel comfortable. So good for her. Let her read those books. She's not doing anyone any harm. And why are we policing people's reading? Like of adults. Why are we policing adult people's reading? Like, why should it be? I'm sure OP is aware that yes, those books are not like usually her demographic. Like, she said it herself, she reads them because they feel easier to read, and that's what she needs at the moment. And if that's what she needs and she likes, good. That's why the discussion ends, basically. And honestly, I hope OP gets rid of those friends. They don't sound supportive at all. Her husband and her therapist sound supporting. Yeah, keep those people around. But honestly, this is like the kind of stuff that gets me really, really angry. I can't believe those friends would say stuff like that. This one, based on the title, it's a longer one, but I just wanted to see what this is about. So buckle up, folks. It's an older post from 5 years ago. Am I the asshole for freaking out over my girlfriend's gay romance novels? I'm a bit worried about this one, so let's see. So I've always known my girlfriend likes romance novels. It's her guilty pleasure and that doesn't bother me. She's often on her Kindle while I'm playing video games or right before she sleeps. One of the things she bonded over at first was our love of books, so I like that she reads. I prefer paper books, but occasionally I'll borrow her Kindle to read some ebooks I've gotten. I did this recently and was flipping through the titles when I saw some weird book that piqued my interest, so I started skimming it. Imagine my surprise when I discovered that not only is it a gay romance, like between gay men, what else is a gay romance? A romance between a man and a woman? Like, what did you expect? Also, the men get pregnant. Oh, so it's like an M-preg story, okay. I wasn't sure what I was reading at first and thought I misunderstood, but then I looked up the author on my phone, and indeed the entire thing seems to be books about men getting pregnant. I understand romance books have appeal to women, and I can see why, but this, now to be clear, I'm not homophobic at all, but I don't like where this sentence is going. But to find that your girlfriend reads gay romance where the men get pregnant is a little disturbing. Why? I think fanfiction might put this guy, I'm assuming, might put this man into a coma. Even the gay aspect didn't freak me out too much. It shouldn't freak you out at all. And I don't like how you're phrasing that. But it was when I realized these books were all about men getting pregnant, I really started to freak out. Why? It's just a fun thing. And I mean, even if it wasn't MPreg, men can get pregnant. Trans men are people that exist. Just saying. The kicker is that the guys are werewolves, which is even weirder and concerning because no, it's not. It's just MPreg Omega-verse storytelling. Very popular in the online community. Do educate yourself, my guy. We're not done yet. This continues. She has an ex. Ooh, now I see where this is going. She has an ex who was a furry, and I always laughed at what a weirdo her ex was. But now I'm wrecked with insecurity that maybe there's more to her than I thought. Oh god, where the fuck is this going? Is this like some jealousy issue because her ex was a furry, you know, and she still likes furry stories? Also, by the way, not all furry stuff is porn. Just to get that out there, furries are cool. Like I go to a convention every year, and there's always like a couple of furries. There are always like a couple of furries there, and they're all very nice, usually. So, yeah, we're not having like judging furries here in the comments, by the way. So now I'm racked with insecurity that maybe there's more to her than I thought. They're still in the same friend group, and they don't hang out on one-on-one, but they do talk sometimes. I'm not a jealous guy, and come on, the guy's a furry. Furries are normal, regular people who just have a hobby. So I never minded, but now I'm wondering about what? What is he like? Okay, let's keep reading. So I talked to her about this and was like, what's up with these gay wolf pregnancy books? And she immediately got defensive. I told her I was just wondering if there was maybe something that she wasn't telling me. Like what? What is she supposed to tell you? Is she supposed to have like a big confession of, yes, I admit it, I'm into Omega-verse MPreg stories? What? Like, what's the reveal supposed to be here? What? And she immediately got defensive. I ended up bringing up the ex, which wasn't the best idea. No. But I was feeling insecure. She thinks I'm just being pretentious and looking down on her for reading romance and even accused me of being homophobic, but there's so much more that I'm concerned about here. I told her specifically that I was concerned that she was still into her ex, but she told me there's nothing to worry about and offered to show me her texts. Okay, so this really is about a jealousy thing, not necessarily about her reading those types of books. Okay, get it. Am I the arsehole in this situation? She said I was being paranoid, but I don't know, this shit is just too weird. I explored the books more and just can't wrap my head around her being into this. Yes. Like, based on just this post, I think there's some edits on top. Based on the original post, without looking at the edits, yes. Why are you... Like, it's your problem if you feel weirded out. It's a more or less popular online genre to read Omega-verse stories. I don't read them myself. I'm not into that kind of stuff, but I'm not judging. Like, I've read a couple of stories in the Omegaverse because, you know, I read online fanfiction. So, of course, at some point you, like, dabble into that now and then just to see what the fuck is going on there. But I discovered it's not my thing. So that was that. But, like, people like that stuff, and why shouldn't they? Like, fun stories. If they're fun stories and they enjoy them, good for them. Why are you so weirded out by that? Is it because they're gay? Is it because it's men getting pregnant? Is it you being very weird about furries for some reason? Because, my guy, please educate yourself on furries. They're not all weird that way. They're not. So at this moment, yes, you're the arsehole. Okay. I mean, I think it's fair that maybe you want to have a conversation with your girlfriend about hanging out with an ex. We're not even talking about books anymore. I'm just saying this right now to wrap the story up. But talk to your girlfriend about this. Like, it's a communication issue where you have to see where do both of you stand in this relationship. That's it. And it doesn't even have really anything to do with these books. And if it was just about the books, for you freaking out over your girlfriend reading gay romance Omega-verse books, then yes, you are the asshole. You are the asshole, because why would you feel so weirded out about this? I get that, yes, you might feel weirded out about this, but don't be an asshole about it. How about you ask your girlfriend why she likes those stories? And then you could have a conversation about it. No one forces you to, like, enjoy those books or having to read them, but, like, don't kink shame her if she's into that kind of stuff. Like, I don't really get what the problem here is. Like, don't judge people for what they're reading. Like, I get that this is, like, a weird, like, maybe a slightly unusual, weird aspect of the romance genre. I get that, but it's not doing anyone any harm. It's between consenting adults, presumably, doing gay shit. Let them have fun. And if you don't understand it, go and ask your girlfriend who reads those stories to explain them to you, if you really want to get it. And if this is really just a symptom of your relationship issues, go and talk to your girlfriend about the relationship issues you're having. Communicate. Mwah. Communicate. Communication is key. Okay, I left this one for last because it's the longest one. It is pretty long, so hang on there. But I thought that the title was interesting, because this may or may not happen to me one day if I ever get my books published. So, am I the asshole for leaving an honest review on my friend's debut novel? Okay, buckle up, folks, it's a long one. I don't want anyone to be able to find the novel, so I will try to be vague. All I will say regarding the novel's details is that I primarily read high fantasy and sci-fi, while my friend's novel is a romance. I'm also reading an arc, as the novel has not yet been released. I'm going to call my author friend Anne. So I, 25 female, am part of an online reading writing group of about 30 people. One of the members, who has become a friend of mine, is Anne, 26 female. She's the only member that lives near me, and we meet for coffee sometimes. We share book recommendations, writing tips, etc. Even though we aren't interested in reading or writing the same genres most of the time, we get along pretty well. That's good. Anne has been working on her debut novel for the past couple of years, and it's finally getting published. Good for her. She's very excited, to say the least, and got arcs 2 months ago to give to friends and family. She even had one sent to an author whose name is pretty popular right now, and said that it was her writing that inspired this novel. I honestly didn't expect to get an arc. I felt there was no way to politely turn her down, seeing as we were friends, so I took the book. I mean, you could have turned it down, but I mean, yeah, it's okay. Anne put a card in my arc, and I'm assuming everyone else is asking that I visit the Goodreads page for her book, leave an honest review, and promote her book on our socials. After I finally read it, I went to Goodreads, found the page for her book, and started typing. I gave her 3 stars, and I said that while I wasn't the target audience, it was a sweet story and fans of the genre would love, and it could use a bit of tweaking. 3 stars? I thought, like, based on this post, it was like a 1 was 2 stars. 3 stars is fine. Okay, 3 stars. I gave her 3 stars. Blah, blah, blah. The day after I posted that review, I woke up to missed calls and texts from Anne. They ranged from angry to sad, all asking how or why I could do this to her. I called her up and asked what was going on. She immediately launched into a rant about how I am a terrible friend and a terrible fellow author to leave such a poor review on her book. I asked if I was trying to hurt her career. I told her I wasn't trying to hurt her career and that she asked for an honest review, so I left an honest review. As you do, as requested. She continued to berate me, and I was so tired and caught off guard that I just hung up on her. This happened last Wednesday. Okay, so for now, I'm on OP's side. Like, this is really not, like, a shitty thing to do. Like, it was, they asked for an honest review, the person gave an honest review. It's not even like they trashed the book. It's like 3 stars. 3 stars is alright. Yesterday, I got back in touch with her to have a calm, adult conversation with her about it, but it didn't take long for her to get angry again, demand what I didn't like about her book. I told her it just wasn't the kind of thing I was into and that she knew that when she gave me the arc. She got angry and yelled at me that it doesn't matter and that as my friend and fellow author, you should have left me a 5-star review. What you did was so shitty and backhand, you're such a major asshole, especially since it's my first. She told the group that we're in, leaving the entire thing in upheaval and everyone is divided. Was I the asshole? Okay, I'm gonna jump into the edit in a moment. Based on just this initial post, no, you're not the asshole. You gave an honest review, as was asked of you. And it's not like you hated the book. You gave it 3 out of 5 stars, which is solid. 3 out of 5 stars is fine. And arcs are being given out to give honest reviews in advance. And it would not be fair and honest of you to give the book 5 stars just because you happen to know the author. I know that you could be very tempted to do that. I totally get it. But it's an honest review, and as your job as a reviewer is to give an honest review. And if you think the book was a 3 out of 5, then it was a 3 out of 5. We've had this before. You have to live with bad reviews occasionally, even if they come maybe from someone you like. Not everyone's going to enjoy your book. So based on this alone, no, OP is not the arsehole. But there are 2 edits. Let's look at the first edit. I'm getting some similar questions and responses in the comments. I'm adding this for clarity. I do not hate the romance genre. I've had a few romances that I like. I just find myself not enjoying romance books more often than not. I'm sort of like similar to this person. And I did not rate Anne's book just because it's romance or just because it was my cup of tea. Saying I'm not the target audience was just the nicest way I could think to say that I personally didn't enjoy the book. And I mean, yeah, like OP also said in the original post that the friend knew that they aren't into romance books, so of course they would have a bit more trouble with it. And if they knew that in advance, why are they so surprised? Like, I gave it 3 stars because the writing wasn't very good, especially during the spice, and some of the side characters were poorly written. I mean, that sounds like fair critique. Had that not been the case, I would have given the book 4 stars easily. The only reason I left a review at all, instead of simply not doing so, was because I felt a lot of pressure to 1, the note she left in my copy about leaving an honest review and promoting her book. 2, the fact that she frequently asked for updates in the writing reading group we're in about if people have finished their arc and why they haven't left a review yet. Oh, this author person annoys me. I thought not leaving a review or refusing to leave one would just result in more questioning and prodding until I did it. I totally get how this is like maybe an uncomfortable situation, and maybe you didn't even like the book that much, but you feel pressure to give a review because you were asked, and then the author keeps asking you about it. Like, that's not fair. If you give like your book out to an arc, if you give your book to someone to like review it, please don't pressure them. Like, please don't be like this annoying about it. Like, I get that there's a deadline and stuff, but please give reviewers their space, and reviews are for readers, as we like to say. Not my quote, I know. And it's an honest review. Like, what do you want? This is what you wanted, and you got it. So I don't understand why this author is complaining so much. So, looking at the second edit here, it's basically just the person explaining what an arc is. So like arc obviously is like an advanced reader copy. It's a copy you get before the book comes out like officially, that like friends and family can get to review for like an honest review in exchange. So they can get like, so the writers can get like early reviews and feedbacks. So that's what an arc is for. So no, OP's definitely not the asshole. Like, and it's interesting that apparently, according to the judging of Reddit, the OP is the asshole, which I honestly don't get. I haven't really looked at comments for these posts, but the top one says, "You're the asshole, you just need to leave a good review on your friend's book. All you had to do was give a 5-star rating, leave a comment along the lines of a good read. That's it. And if you were that disinterested in the genre, don't write a review at all. Don't agree to review it. You should have totally wrecked her overall star rating, especially for a new release." What? I mean, I maybe slightly agree with that OP should have disagreed to read the book in the first place. Yes, like I could see that argument. And OP also mentioned that in their original post that I didn't really want and didn't even expect to get an arc, but then felt like they couldn't say no to that, which I honestly get. I would probably be in the I would probably be somewhere like in this kind of type of situation. But this really isn't fair to OP. OP just did what was asked of them, honestly. OP just did what was asked of it. And otherwise, this is just like buying reviews. This feels like buying reviews. Like, if I ever publish my book and I send out arcs to like my girlfriend, her family, my friends, I want them to give honest opinions. And I know not all of them will enjoy it. Like, occasionally I run my manuscript by my girlfriend because I want them to give me honest opinions. And they do. They don't always enjoy everything I write. And I take it into consideration. Yes, I'm also not the best at dealing with criticism, I admit that. But that's part of the writing process. And if you send out arcs, then yes, you will get worse reviews occasionally. I get that you might be upset that, oh, it's a friend. Why didn't they just give my book 5 out of 5 because we're friends? I sort of get that, but then you have to see you have to see it objectively that you asked them to review a book honestly, as a reader, as a neutral party, as an objective reader, not as your friend. And that person did what was asked of them and gave an honest opinion. It's not like they gave the book 1 star to like drag the entire rating down. They gave it 3. A 3 is fine. Like, a 3 is completely fine. And OP gave good reasons for why they gave the book 3 stars. So I don't understand what the problem is. And I don't understand why OP is judged to be the asshole, apparently, by Reddit. I honestly don't get it. Like, this is the one I really don't get why people seem to think OP is the asshole here. They just did what was asked of them. They gave an honest review. I get why you might be a bit upset about it as a friend, but if you're good friends, then you talk about it and you will understand that this is just an objective thing they're doing, as was asked of them, to give an honest review, to not lie. Like, your friendship should stand above that, because if you're giving out your book to read, even if it's to a friend, and you want your friend to review it, then you want them to review it as a reader, not as your friend, right? I'm assuming. So this is basically, it's business. It's not friendship, it's business. You're asking them to do a thing, they do it. So I don't understand what the problem is. So I personally judge OP not to be the arsehole of this story, but I would honestly really love to hear what you people think of this story. And that's it for today. My mug is empty. And we have read the final story. Of course, I would love to hear your opinions on all of these stories. If you've seen any, or if you've seen any other like fun stories we're gonna like do stuff like this, about the also like books or reading edition, do send me those. Maybe I'm gonna do a follow-up if you enjoyed this. Feel free to give me your own opinions on these stories in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you people have to say. Also, don't forget to send me your unpopular bookish opinions, either over on the community tab or down in the comments below, or on any of my social media accounts you can find down there in the description. Make sure you do that. I hope you had some fun with this video, considering that last week's video wasn't as fun of a topic, so I hope we could have just like a bit of like casual fun with this one, and I was able to cheer you up a bit. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done that already, and I'll see all of you very soon. Goodbye.